5, dun, 4, dun, 3, dun, 2, dun.
Stand by
One.
for excitement. So it's great to see you. I hope
Jenny
you find
Kirk, saw go. Pop, 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 pop.
Right, okay, you can settle down.
Settle down. Yes, okay.
So anyway, I'm here and inviting you to pull my finger. You know you want to. There it is. Reach into your TV or monitor or phone screen and pull my finger.
Twist it. Yank it.
Fondle it.
Oh, hey.
So it's great to
Going
see
a bit
you.
far, that.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, meanwhile, come on. Behave yourself, monkey. Behave yourself. We're on now. So it's great to see you. Do hope that you are well. Welcome back to another Monday Club. And we did miss last week due to family reasons. So we are back now. And a big thank you to Maura King, who very kindly donated €11.99 on the Super Chat. Says, Happy St. Patrick's Day, Jenny and Zoe. So thank you so much for your generosity kicking off Super Chats tonight. That's really, really generous of you.
Yes, thank you so much. And happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone who celebrates.
Absolutely. The patron day of people who want to drink copious quantities of Guinness.
Yes. And St. Patrick, of course, being the patron saint of the big hat.
Ah, yes.
Hello to Martin Vegas, and thank you so much. Yes. You're confused, Jenny and I. We're easily confused. We didn't know
I said,
what was going on,
Zoe,
or who sent it, or why.
I said, Zoe, what have you been buying? And also a huge thank you as well. I got sent a huge care package of modelling supplies, so thank you so much for that. And now, today, we're doing a little bit of American stuff. Now, Weir Yard isn't an American layout, but we do have a Niagara 484 in New York Central livery going around.
Hey, we'll come up to Jablite Mountain in just a moment if you want to press
So I'm going to hit the lever.
You haven't?
I have.
Okay, so we're going to be on one of those tonight.
So it might just have crashed. So the Stream Deck appears to be not playing ball.
Yes.
So there you are.
It is.
There is the Niagara, very kindly sent into the channel. And that's pulling a very large rake of American Outline stuff. So a couple of box cars. And then these tank cars. These are Roker prototype models. I'm just partway through filming a video on the latest batch of these to be released. But this is all from the previous batch plus the newest batch. And some really interesting firefighting tank wagons. These carried water to remote locations so that the railroad companies were able to deal with fires. Of course, really important as parts of the US where wildfires are a big issue. And of course, there's a lot of infrastructure built from timber, in particular big timber trestles, and it's not unheard of for these to get burnt down. So part of what the railroad companies would do to combat this is they'd have firefighting trains able to take huge amounts of water to remote locations, and then they'd have hoses from the train that they could use to suppress fires and such like.
But you've also got something else, haven't you, Jen?
Yes, I have. So we're just going down here. Just going to see if we can bring these up as the Class 05 trundles past. And
this is a very difficult one to try and get to the right angle because they're so big.
Yeah, so there we are. We've got the Safe Pack Auto Racks. And these are also Roker prototype models. And I'm going to push these back a little bit. Because look at the custom graffiti. This is something Roker prototype models sent me these. I didn't actually know that they were coming, but they've done a custom livery, and there's a lot of photographs circulating on Intertron of the Homer Simpson graffiti on a Safe Pack Auto.
Is this a leader here?
That is a leader.
People have an idea of how big the leader is, don't they?
Probably not. I don't know how many people have bought one, all things considered.
Okay. Well, there's a leader. Locomotive, and it's not even as big as that thing behind it.
I don't know. Zoe just decided she'd grab at a delicate model. Oh no, the wheels might fall off. Not.
But there you go.
Well,
these things are
actually,
huge.
That is a Class 10 So there you go.
Yeah.
That's a Class 10. And there we are with a Homer Simpson cast. This livery is incredible that they've done. And all of the little holes have been pushed through with a needle. They were done with custom decals, I'm led to believe.
I'm betting Scanman put a film on. And just
Yes, I'm sure he did.
About,
but we've got the JK logo. We've got actual custom nameplates on here, which mention Weir Yard and my own name as well. It's brilliant. And I'm going to bring this back. You can see there we've got Bart Simpson. Don't have a cow, man. And this is the sleeping car. There are actually two that are largely the same. I'm going to turn that one round, and you can see that one's also got Homer Simpson on the other side.
Homer.
So I've got two of these. Really quite impressed.
They're really, really nice.
They are. So there we are. Where's Maggie, says Travelling Brian. I believe...
Oh, what happened there?
Did you just... I have no idea. That was very, very strange, wasn't it?
Yes. That's almost as if it's finally woken up and realised that you asked us to go to Jablight Mountain earlier on.
Although the buttons have just stopped illuminating.
If the buttons aren't working, then the buttons aren't working.
Yeah, so unfortunately the Stream Deck appears to have crashed. So we're going to be flying old style. Dave Scott Railways, hello to you. Peter Jackson, Cheadle Heath, Simon Trains, Mother Railway Showcase, Wardle Restorations, Krista Duke, Flymo Chairman 1, Peter Jackson, Cheadle Heath, New Mother Railway, Rick Morley, Spongate Junction, Anthony L, RG Models 86, Harry Sedgwick,
Whoa.
Stefan Svensson.
Okay, there's something seriously wrong.
What happened?
The entire thing just went blank.
How strange.
Okay, guys, we're having some issues. This is what tends to happen when we have time off.
Shanghai 264359. Greetings to you. I think a lot of people went to Ali Pali. We were dealing with family things, so we weren't able to go. We were actually in Durham instead for reasons. Jennifer Horn says, loving the Lightning Seeds cover in the frame. Saw them live last year. Gosh. That's my copy of Jollification, which was probably their... I don't know whether you call it their big breakthrough LP, but it was certainly their most commercially successful. It was huge. I was in sixth form at the time. In fact, actually, no, I think came out, what was it, 95? So I'd have been in secondary school doing my GCSE year, and that is an actual vinyl LP. I keep telling people I'm not a hipster. I was buying LPs before it was cool.
Yes.
Which is apparently the most hipster thing you can say. It's probably about time I change that. I do like to change the LP sleeve that's in there from time to time.
So I was thinking, is it about appropriate time for us to roll VT?
Yep, can do.
It won't work, Jen.
Yeah, you're right, it won't.
Welcome to the... Okay, I think we're back.
We think we're back. There's some kind of weird stuff going on. I don't... apparently, did it play the intro? Whoa! Suddenly, all of the...
Yeah. Right, I'm going to tell you once and only once.
I'm
Do
not
not press those buttons.
I'm not going to touch it.
Right.
So, I don't know what's going on. It would appear that the computer's got a mind of its own. Played but got stuck, apparently.
Yeah, it's just done it again. See, this is... Okay, we're going to sponsor and then we'll be back.
The Monday Club is proudly sponsored by TMC, the Model Centre. Check them out at themodelcentre.com. The website features extensive stocks of new models as well as selective pre-owned items where you can track down that bargain you've always wanted. Pre-order with confidence all of the forthcoming models from all the manufacturers. TMC also offer a renumbering and renaming service so you can get the exact identity of locomotive that you want. Why not also check out their value weathering, or go for something incredibly special with their bespoke service where you can choose from a more extensive weathered look right through to custom graffiti either off the peg or to a design of your choice. Check out TMC today at themodelcentre.com and start your model journey.
And we're back.
So apparently we're not quite back. There's something is hogging all the runtime on the computer.
Okay, what I'm going to say is we're not going to press any buttons.
Yeah. That's what, that.
We might not even be changing angles.
Anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch. Microsoft Windows. It doesn't appear to be updating, but who knows?
Well, it did a security check earlier on, so
yeah.
whatever it's doing, it's...
Yeah, anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, let's go through the news.
Jenny, what's in the news?
In the news, well, Hellion have...
In the Navy.
Stop. In the news, Hellion have released the Class 02 shunter in 00. Finally started to arrive in the shops. And before anybody asks, yes, we will be reviewing one. I have one on its way here to the channel. So we're going to be reviewing that. Really looking forward to it. I do love shunters. And the Class 02 shunter is something that has never been offered ready to run before. There's not many BR locomotive classes, well, certainly diesels, that have never been offered before. They've kind of picked off pretty much all of them, including the newest of releases. But there's still a few little shunter classes to go. Class 02 plugs a gap. And these actually lasted long enough, well, 3 of them anyway, to get tops numbers. And one of these, 02004, is one of the examples that Hellion are doing in this first push. Also, there's a fictitious full BR Rail Blue 02005 being offered in the Gauge Master collection as well. Anywho, what else have we got in the news? Well, we had an announcement from Revolution Trains that they were doing the battery-powered London Underground locomotive. And then we've just had an announcement saying they've cancelled that because it turns out that somebody else had the license to make it. So I guess that means look out for that being announced from another manufacturer. But I find it quite strange. I guess that there's been a miscommunication somewhere that Revolution thought they had the license. Certainly, it sounds like they've been in negotiations for a license, but for whatever reason, it's gone to another company.
Sadly, sometimes this sort of thing happens.
Also, in addition, we've had some announcements from Bachmann in the lead up to Alexandra Palace. And one of the most surprising for these is the LMS 20-ton brake van in 00. It's surprising because Hornby did a full retooled version of this a couple of years ago now. So I find it quite strange that Bachmann have progressed theirs, given that it's been several years. Now, the general rule of thumb is, I was told, about 3 years from start to delivery for an item of rolling stock. And I believe that it's somewhere close to that for the Hornby one. And it wasn't there was an old Hornby 20-ton LMS brake fan, the Stanier type. But Bachmann have tooled up their own version, and it's got a full detailed interior, which I have to say I've been told that the Hornby one does have an interior of sorts. Certainly I've seen photographs of them with the body removed, and they've got a stove in there. But it just seems quite strange for duplication of this sort. Now, there were several thousand examples of these built as completely unfitted, vacuum piped, and also there were some that were actually vacuum fitted as well. So there's plenty of scope to be able to release models without duplication.
Oh, I hope you don't duplicate.
But it is a strange choice.
Or one could say an inspired choice.
Yeah. Sorry, I've lost my place. Sorry.
Did I inspire you?
No, you distracted me. But it's you could have said it was similar, but no, it's not. So beverage of choice is Quality Street Green Triangle Mocha, and it tastes nothing like the Green Triangles. It has to be said.
Delicious though.
It's all right. So who else have we got? We've got Little Britain, Raymond Leggs, David Baker, Maura King, Will Tucker, Martin Shipman, Peter Jackson, Cheadle Heath. I think I already mentioned you. Travelling Brian, Gavin Blackburn.
Everyone needs a Travelling Brian.
Oh yeah, Summer Breeze, Muller Railway, John and Holly. Big hello to you. Stevie Film. Tanith Veloquat says no brake wagons for ages, and then two come along at once. And I have to say, my thoughts on this were it did feel a little bit like needless duplication. Now, it may well be that Bachmann had started work on theirs before Hornby released theirs. But I would have thought, given the length of time, you would have not been looking at it going to tooling. And with so many other brake vans having not been done ready to run, I'm thinking in particular that there's a huge wealth of pre-grouping style brake vans. Great Central Railway 6-wheelers, they've not been done. There's plenty of Great Central Railway locomotives that have been released. London, Brighton and South Coast Railway brake vans. There's a huge wealth. I'm trying to think of some of the London and North Western Railway, Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway, Great North of Scotland Railway, North British. So many different versions. And I have to say, it does feel kind of strange that they've gone for the LMS 20-ton Stanier style brake van. Albeit that I think some in the region of 2,400, 2,300 examples were built. So they are a very numerous van.
Yeah, there's enough for everyone to go around.
And some really interesting liveries, some of which Hornby have delivered. They've done an NCB blue liveried one, which is actually really nice. It's one of the ones I've got. Bachmann are doing a Dutch liveried one, which I don't believe Hornby have actually done with their tooling, and the Merseyrail duo as well, which were very, very late survivors. They were still around into the 1990s, well, certainly still being used in the early 1990s as, I think they were coupling translator wagons for moving Merseyrail stock to and from works. And one of those, at least one of those, was saved at the 11th hour for preservation. And it's a really eye-catching livery. New Model Railway says Rapido are going to do a GCR 6-wheeler. Ah, right, yes. Hi, Jenny, Zoe and everyone. Can't wait for the EFE Isle of Wight coaches. This was the other announcement from the Bachmann umbrella via their EFE rail brand. The rebuilt, I think they were originally London, Brighton and South Coast Railway coaches, and they were rebuilt, sent out to the Isle of Wight. And one of the things about the Isle of Wight is that once stuff goes out there, because of the logistics of shipping stuff on and off the island, they tend to stick around. So it's why we saw a Class 05 shunter. In fact, the only Class 05 shunter to receive a TOPS number 05001, was actually, it's still on the island. It ended up going to the Isle of Wight Steam Railway to preservation. But it survived working engineers' trains long after the Class 05s had been completely withdrawn from BR use in the rest of mainland UK. Oh, thank you so much, JL Railways. Very kindly donated £4.99 on the Super Chat. That is incredibly generous of you. It says, hey Jenny and Zoe, how are you both? I've just finished fitting a starter solenoid and cleaning the starter motor up on the Land Rover. And I can remember sitting and watching my father rebuild and renovate the starter motor on his Series 1 Land Rover. And for anybody who's wondering, solenoid, starter motor, what? Yeah, the starter motors is basically an electric motor with a very, very high torque that's used to start an engine. And you need a solenoid because you can't send full battery amperage through your ignition switch when you turn the key in your vehicle. And
you can, but only once.
It'll just burn it out. So what they actually do is they have a solenoid, and the way a solenoid works is you put a small current to it and it switches a larger current. So there's a small current, goes down to the solenoid, causes it to turn on, and in turning on it then sends full battery voltage to the starter motor, and that's effectively happening when you twitch the key. Although with my father's Land Rover, you turned the key to the on and all that happened was the fuel pump started up, and then you had to press a starter button in the middle of the dashboard, and yeah, like a contactor on a diesel electric, little Brian, absolutely. Vicky Lawless, says, hi everyone, why are Backman do the LMS goods break? I'd suggested an LNER ballast van instead. Lovely vans. I've even slept in one. Yeah, we're talking about this a little bit. I think it's an odd choice because Hornby have a new tooled version. In fact, I'm going to look around. I think I must have one somewhere. Yes, there we go. So, I'm just going to retrieve it from the layout, and there should be others somewhere. I know I've got at least 3 of these, possibly more. So, there you go. That's the Hornby one. Are we able to bring me up as full screen? I'm just going to show this off. This is the Hornby new tooled version. I say new tooled. They released this a couple of years ago. We did do a video reviewing them when they came out. I really like them. And they're about half the RRP of what Bachmann are doing proposing for their new one. And I'm left feeling that it's a little bit of needless duplication.
It does feel a lot like that.
Because it's been long enough that I find it hard to believe that Bachmann would have been committed with tooling at the point that this came out. And this is a really nice wagon. I don't know how it comes apart, but I'm told that I'm just peering through the window. I can't see anything inside it, but I do think that fully detailed interiors are a little bit needless. Yeah.
Right.
Let's have a
shiny.
When I do that, it just reflects.
What if I shine it from the other end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is a. There are seats. There's a brake standard, and yes, there is a stove. So
so if you hold that up to the camera,
I don't think.
Go on, hold it up to the camera.
Okay, so I'm gonna hold that there like that. I don't think it's. Oh, come here, you. Right, so I'm gonna shine a light at you.
I can kind of see it. Yes. Whoa. Yes.
So you can. It's very difficult, to be honest. Yeah, just at certain angles, and it's very hard actually because the camera.
I see it as pointless, to be honest with you. If you can't see it without shining a torch through it.
It's detail for the sake of detail.
Yeah.
Now, these are actually a really great van, and for a while they were actually in the sale. I don't know whether Hornby made far too many, but you could pick up the BR, the BR Brown, the LMS Grey, and I think as well the Engineers Olive Green versions for about £10–12.
Wow.
Really, really great value. So I struggle to see. We've got, I think it's an RRP of just under £45 on the Bachmann one. I'm not convinced, and none of the liveries that have been announced really reach out and grab me. I'm not a fan of Dutch. I think there are some people who are. I think the Dutch one will probably sell because it's a livery that Hornby haven't offered. But I just don't feel that it was a great choice from Bachmann. Now,
it does feel a
let's
little
wait
bit
and
like,
see.
hey, the opposition's done it, we're going to do it.
Can we get camera 5, please, which shows the turntable?
We can try. Let's see how it goes.
So we'll see. There we go. Growler backward engage layout says same as manufacturers putting lots of intricate detail under rolling stock when you can't see. Yes, and that's the other thing. There's there
is an argument to be made for some of that. If you can see it from the side, sure.
Yeah, but
if you can't, no.
The problem is, and I've seen this a lot, where you have all of the planking detail and the frame detail under the wagon that cannot be seen unless you turn the wagon upside down. And I am left wondering, how much does this add to the cost? Now, under frame detail, probably not so much, because it's got to have something there, because otherwise there'd be a big hole through the floor. And does it really cost anything extra to put a representation of the chassis than just have it completely flat?
That I get, yeah.
But when it comes to an interior on a brake van, that has to be tooled up. There's separately fitted and decorated parts.
Yep.
And it does feel a little bit like unnecessary detail for the sake of unnecessary detail. SHGP Media, great to see you. Jennifer Horton says, I saw 7828 at the Gwilly in 1988. You never seem old enough for that. You always look a lot you look younger than me, but 1988, I'd have been a child.
Who says she wasn't a child?
Maybe, I don't know. I better we'll look at right, so you're talking to somebody else. Gavin Blackburn says the public gets what the public wants. Now,
to an extent, yes.
I think one of the big problems is, and I have sympathy for manufacturers, because there's always a few loud people who, can I just say so? Zoe's painting a figure of me. I don't have yellow hair.
You don't know what I'm doing. The process requires multiple different colours and multiple different layers.
DJK666 says, I'd have been 7 in 1988. I was a little older than that. Cymru Rail says, I was at the gala at the Gwilly Railway too. I helped design their timetable posters, which were displayed at each station.
Speaking of birthdays and at what age you would be.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, to me?
Happy birthday to you.
It was my birthday on Saturday.
Dear Jenny.
Happy birthday to you.
What did I get you? Is it going around the chat?
You got me the sports Gronk.
The Gronk Sportif.
Yeah, oh yeah. The main line, in fact, it's just hoving across the view, just going behind the chat. With I compared it with a couple of mainline liveried HEA hoppers, including the one that Bachmann did with graffiti on. Now I know graffiti tends to be a love-hate thing, and we got the auto racks with Homer Simpson on. I'm just going to retrieve the HEA. This is actually they did this over 20 years ago. And that's actually factory finished graffiti. And I really like this wagon because it's the first and only time I think I've ever seen Bachmann do ready weathered out of the box wagons, and never seen them do it since. And I just thought it really was quite eye-catching. So one of my my secret favourites of my wagon collection, and I'm not really a fan of air-braked wagons, the later period, but I do quite have a soft spot for HEA wagons. Little Britain says, in 1988, I was in Trinidad, married with children. Cymru Rail says, Pen Bluith Hapus, which I think is happy birthday in Welsh, which I've just crucified.
Yeah.
Simon Pitcher says...
You wouldn't be able to tell that you were from Wales, would you?
Yeah. Dion Wollaston says, loved the end of the 70s and 80s. I am a child of the 1970s, but only just.
I'm an 80s kid.
Yeah, you are. Simon Pitcher says, haha, I was 30 in 1988. Oh, my word. Paul Hewitt says, available to pre-order Hornby BRX LMS. Is this a new announcement? XLMS 20-ton brake van R60286. I'm going to have a search for that. R60286.
While we're talking about Hornby, they had some very interesting news the other day.
Did they? Oh, yes. You tell the nice people, because...
Hornby are coming off the stock exchange.
Yeah, we were discussing this between the two of us. What are your thoughts on this? What does it mean? And do you think it is a shrewd move or not?
I think it's an incredibly shrewd move. They can't be subject to a hostile takeover. They're
then asset stripped, basically.
Exactly.
It protects them from being asset stripped.
They can't be taken over. The people that are in charge now get more control over the company. They don't have to answer to stockholders and shareholders and all of that. And, well, they do. They still have to answer them. But there's less of them. And they can manoeuvre quicker to respond to the market better. I think it's an incredibly shrewd move.
Yeah, I think so. And also it means there's certain things they don't have to do now which add extra cost to the business.
Yeah. They don't have to spend a lot of money basically bringing in shareholders to tell them what they've done, wining and dining them and presenting them with an annual return plan and all of that.
And incurring their wrath. Yeah,
and they don't have to file as huge a set of accounts every year.
Yeah, I'm just looking here. Yes, Hornby are actually releasing another batch of the Stanier brake fans, expected spring 2025. I've actually seen May mentioned. So that means there's going to be a new batch of the 20-ton Stanier brake fan from Hornby at pretty much about the same time that Bachmann are releasing theirs. So that's going to be interesting.
It really seems a bit weird.
And the RRP on the Hornby one is $32.99, but with discounting, that's going to come down, and it'll still be cheaper than the Bachmann one. Now, yeah, last week we had to cancel the Monday Club at a very short notice.
Okay, let me just... right. I got a message saying that my mum was in hospital and we had to go now to see her.
Yes.
As in, drop everything you're doing and get in the car.
Absolutely.
So we did. We thought we were going to lose her. I'm happy to say that she's still with us. She's comfortable. And she's even been able to get out of a hospital bed and sit in a chair today.
Yes.
Which is fantastic. But we don't know how much time we've got left.
Yes, so as you can imagine, we did just drop everything. Within a matter of, I think, a space of about 20 minutes, we went from not knowing we were going to Durham to being in the car on our way to Durham.
So, for those of you who are wondering, that's what happened. It may happen again. In fact, it's almost entirely guaranteed to happen again. We don't know when.
Anyway, going back to the comments, Will Tucker asks, if those are the benefits of delisting, why did they go for listing in the first place?
Because if you list on the stock market when you're a big and powerful company with lots of go about you, you get a massive, and I mean massive, influx of cash on your initial offering. It also gives you immense borrowing power because you can borrow against the potential of more shares and all sorts like that. It's a big advantage, but it has huge downsides as well if you aren't as big as you think you are.
And at the moment, the Hornby share price has dropped quite a lot. Somebody said, how are they going to afford to buy back all the shares? Well, at the moment, the shares aren't worth a huge amount. And that probably brought with it the risk of a hostile takeover where somebody would buy a business to asset strip it. And you can imagine there's a lot of valuable assets within Hornby. A lot of the different brands like Airfix, Scale Electric, Poacher, as well as Hornby. And I think that, maybe, and this is just speculation, I have to say.
We weren't in the room.
We weren't in the room. But from the outside looking in, it does strike us as being a very shrewd move to protect the business.
Yes.
Name a Gamer YT, I think that's one of your crowd, isn't it?
Yes.
Great to see you. Leslie Gilpin Railways asks, isn't that what Mike Ashley does? I don't know, to be honest. Don't know. Vicky Lawless says, Zoe, our thoughts are with you. I was in a similar position with my mum 3 years ago. And in those situations...
It's really not.
In those situations, it's very important to spend as much time as you can with family.
Yes.
Ron's Garden Railway says the B1 Mayflower is on its way to me from Hornby. Of course, one of the big announcements. It's a lovely livery, actually. And the B1 hasn't been offered from Hornby for quite some time now. They brought it out, I think, about the same time. And Bachmann then warmed over theirs. And I say warmed over, it makes it sound like they phoned it in.
You make it sound like they just didn't put much effort in.
I have one of the Bachmann B1s.
It's quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought the body moulding is pretty reasonable. It's well detailed. And what they did was they ditched the old chassis and made a new chassis for it, but didn't retool the body. And I actually thought they did a good job. It made it DCC ready, got rid of that awful split chassis. And it's not a bad model, but Hornby also produced a completely new tooled B1. Pretty good model. Flymo Chairman 1, thank you so much. Hit that like button, please, if you haven't already, folks. Do share the show if you can. Andrew Bettis says, Hornby is ripe for a hostile takeover. Share price now 14 pence. 4 years ago, it was 70p. And that's it. You could argue that based on the share value, Hornby is undervalued. And that is when you get a risk of a takeover attempt for the specific intention to basically asset strip the business. And that is
and you
definitely...
have to protect yourself from that.
Absolutely. So I stand with Hornby on this. I think they've made a very good move.
Yeah.
And it will protect not just Hornby, but also the other brands as well that we know and love, like Airfix and Sky Electrics.
Yeah.
For the future. And I think that it's what the hobby needs. We don't want somebody to just make a few quid out of our hobby at our expense.
Yes.
And I think Hornby do right to protect themselves from that. Ron's Garden Railway says they're telling me HM7000 sound is out at the end of the week. HM7000's been around for a good long time. But I don't know what they...
Sound for what? You may not be meaning the sound thing as in general, as in could be for sound for a certain thing.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Consisting, i.e. double heading, is now available with
yes,
HM7000.
I got that email.
Yes, that's what we would have been announcing last week if we'd have been doing the Monday Club. But I don't, there aren't any new profiles. I think the Flirt is the newest sound profile that's been up. Ron's Garden Railway for the B1. It's not reached the beta testing, I have to say. Andrew Bettis says the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. Possibly Hornby might be better off as a standalone company, specialising in just the model railway hobby rather than the other elements of the business.
It does.
The
group itself has many sides, and to be honest with you, it's a very shrewd thing.
Yeah, and actually, I'd argue that Airfix is probably one of the strongest elements of the business.
Yes.
And by actually having them all together, you have a lot better purchasing and negotiating power with the factories. And remember, all these being made in probably much the same factories. And by having effectively those brands banded together, they can get a much better deal, which helps keep prices down.
Diversification really works.
Yeah. Right. Little Britain says you can pre-order the HM7000 8-pin no sound decoder at $39.99.
Right. Right, that's what it is. Okay, brilliant. That's good news.
No, I don't think they're coming out soon. Name a Gamer YT says APT sound coming in 2 weeks. It's not hit the beta test grid, or if it has, they haven't told me about it.
You should have a look. Grab your phone and have a look.
But Ron's gone right. It's sound for the B1. I'm looking forward to it actually, and there is precedent for this. That we saw some of the sound files get released before they actually got to the beta testers before now, so it's not unheard of. Harp House Holt says, is the Flirt sound file live yet? I have one on order with TMC. As far as I know, it is live. I haven't actually downloaded it onto anything because it's I don't have one. It's not my thing.
You haven't tested it and done a video about the sounds?
We've been busy.
We have been.
Yeah.
We've been busy since before Christmas. It's been ridiculous.
Yeah. Maura King says, Hornby are announcing a new product on Thursday. I must admit, I'm a little bit out of the loop at the moment.
As you can imagine why.
Yeah. Also, other news, TMC, the Model Centre, have a new special commission. They're doing the, I've seen it referred to as the Pink Panther. It's the Wessex Trains Class 31. It's like a lovely pink livery with some Mark II coaches. These are a special commission from Bachmann. So that's available exclusively through TMC, the Model Centre.
All right.
Paul Hewitt says available to pre-order BR-A3 Flying Scotsman steam generator, diecast footplate and flickering firebox.
The steam generator, I have to admit, when I saw that at one of the shows, I thought, I wouldn't mind playing with that. And yeah, that's a big thing from my point of view. I am not a locomotive person. I can't. I'm not a locomotive person, but that caught my attention.
Yeah, can I just say, Roger Piano King asks, why are sound decoders 5 times a normal decoder? Twice as much would be acceptable. You don't know what they cost to make. And
right,
actually,
the sound decoder has a lot of extra chips work
not
in
just that, but there's also the development.
The development cost, the fact that someone has to go out there and source the original sound, record all of the variants on it, come back to the office, clean that up so that it's right,
put it into the right format.
Put it in,
there's a lot extra cost. It's
unfortunately we can't just look at things from a parts and labour point of view anymore. There's a huge amount goes into these things.
Absolutely. Basically they cost 5 times as much just because they cost 5 times as much to make. It's as simple as that. So also, one of the things I would say as well, there's a sound profile. Oh my word, Jennifer Horton, thank you so much for your generosity.
Thank you.
Very kindly donated £10 on the super chat and says, happy birthday, Jenny. Yes, it was my birthday on Saturday. Even I forgot about my birthday because we were priorly engaged. We were visiting Zoe's mum in Durham, so it didn't feel appropriate to be banging on about my birthday.
Although everyone did say happy birthday and
happy anniversary. They did actually, yeah. So look, thank you so much. Carl Toby Jet says, hi Jenny, I got a Class 37 Bachmann from the Model Centre and at low speed it is noisy. One of the things I would say about that, you might find that running it in both directions for probably about 20-30 minutes, just leave it running at a constant speed. First one way, then the other, without a load on it, and that can bed in the gearing. If it's still noisy, then maybe it just wants a little drop of oil. Oh, thank you so much, Stevie Film.
Oh my
Gifted 10 Jennifer E. Kirk Model Railway. It's memberships. Thank you so much. So Knockers Lane's got one. Paul N has got one. Upwell and Onwards has got one. Philip has got one. Polar Pendleton has got one. Footy Ends has got one. Ron Wallace has got one. Bishop Moten has got one. Key Fums has got one. Jonathan Mark Booth has also got one as well. Thank you so much. It's a really great way of sharing the love with your fellow modelers. Thank you so much for that.
156 Andrew says, happy birthday, Jenny. Are you 21 again? She might be, and then another bit.
Yeah, 21 for the second time and a bit more.
And then another bit more.
Yeah. So definitely a lot of new announcements at the moment. I'll keep an eye on the... Oh, thank you so much. Simon Snow has also gifted 10 Jennifer E. Kirk Model Railway memberships. Thank you so much. Good night to you, Adi Pullen. It's been great having
Take
you
care,
company.
Eddie.
You take care.
Thanks for coming along.
Philip Williams was gifted. Train Contractor. Tero Tendo. Dave Greening. Alan T. Bobby G. Alex Burrows. Trevor VL. Eclectic Trains. Wrath Blaster. That is a cool name.
That is.
I am the Wrath Blaster. I love it.
Eclectic Train sounds like how we run stuff here.
DJ K666 says I made a cake for my partner's birthday last week. Wow.
Happy
birthday to you. Squash tomatoes and stew. Bread and butter in the gutter. Happy birthday to you. Norton Hill says, Jen was watching your 009 build earlier. You have aged very well. Oh my word, thank you so much. Tim Krinsky
Oh my
has
goodness.
incredibly generously donated
Thank
$40 US on the Super Chat. You are so generous, you guys. Oh, you guys, thank you so
Making me
much.
embarrassed that I mentioned that was your birthday now.
Yeah, a little bit, but no, don't worry, don't
my
worry.
goodness. Guys, you are so generous. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Also, I need to, it just reminded me, I need to find it first. So also, I'd like to thank Ryan Radband, who sent me £10 on paypal.me. Really,
you.
really generous of you. Thank you so much. I would have thanked you last week, but we didn't have a Monday Club last week. Oh, you guys, you're so generous.
Wrath Blaster sounds like a Mad Max villain. Yes.
Upwell and Onward says hello from New Zealand and thanks to whomever gifted me channel membership. Oh, brilliant. Knockers Lane asks, with regards to decoders, why are HM7000 half the price of other sound decoders?
Because
Hornby have been able to make savings in a number of areas, and also I think there's an element of pricing them very competitively.
they want to bed them in as the market. But imagine this: you've got a decoder that can be programmed remotely, so you don't have to go to the expense of making sure that you've got enough of each of the different sound files on different decoders to sell what you think is going to sell. You have one decoder.
Also,
you've got the bulk. It's a Tesco model.
Yes.
You make the money on the margins.
The decoders are all identical, and then essentially what they can then do, they just place a big order for that particular thing. But that also, you've got to remember where they stand in the market. So Hornby, very much aware that their TTS sound decoders were very much at the budget end of the sound market, and the HM7000 is in part a replacement for that. And they've worked very hard to keep the price down to ensure that they're still applicable to the sector of the market that would have very much gone after the TTS range of things. So they are great value. Make out like a bandit, because quite frankly, they could have sold them for a higher price point and probably still sold them. They keep selling out. They are a really good decoder. I've got somewhere in the region of 30 of them, and I'm not really a sound person, but I must admit that I've found them to be a really good all-round decoder. And of course, a HM7000 decoder that you bought right at the start will still let you put the newest sound profile onto it when that new sound profile comes through. So I do know that there is a sound profile for the new J52 on HM7000 that is floating around. It's not reached the beta test group, but they have actually demonstrated it when we were at I think that would have been the not Worley, I can't believe it wasn't Worley, and they actually the model they were showing on their stand was running that profile. Jeff Hammond, Flint Hills Model Railway says Hornby decoders don't have short circuit protection. They don't have Railcom nor loads of sound files. ESU decoders do have these features.
So they make the money by taking certain parts out. But also, it's not just about the skews that people are saying, like you can flash the thing and have it done for you. Yeah, that's true. But if you think about it, right, so you've got one box. It doesn't have to have different labels. It doesn't have to have different text on the front. you have one decoder for every single thing. They can all be pre-programmed or not.
Yeah.
So Hornby effectively can go to the factory and go say, right, we don't want 1,000 of this and 10 of that and 400
In
of
fairness,
that.
the ESU
We want-
ones come blank.
Yeah, we want 1 million of that. And they get their production
Yeah.
run done
Also,
with the savings.
Can I just say as well, another area where savings can be had is the actual processor. I don't mean the decoder as a whole, but on a decoder, one of the components
is the chip, the processor
is
chip.
the processor.
Yep.
And when you actually look at a decoder, you can see the processor.
Oh, it's always the biggest chip.
It looks like a miniature version of an old-style PC CPU.
Yeah.
Now, there are different price points for these. The Hornby ones use a more budget processor. So the processors cost less, but they can't do some of the features that, say, something like an ESU. I believe you can play many more sounds at the same time
Yes.
than what you could with a TXS, which could do 3 at the same time.
Yeah.
So yes, you could do more with an ESU. You can do
But
more
you pay
with
more for it.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm just grabbing a chip. Yeah, this is one of the Trainomatic ones.
So this is a Trainomatic 21-pin decoder. It's actually hard. I've wired it up to a smart power pack.
Yeah.
Spot
the chip. Spot the CPU.
Yeah, the little thing with the QC sticker on.
Yeah, they're huge compared to everything else. And you can get different ones. And that's what we're talking about. That one chip, you can get different versions. Do you want all the bells and whistles, or are you going to go for the one that does the majority
But you
of what
can
people
also,
want?
there's different companies manufacture them to different tolerances, different standards. That's another way you can save money to some degree. ESU is automatic motor parameter tuning, says Ivo Vanson. Well, I have to say that the HM7000 does have a calibration function. I've used it and it works really well. I've not actually had any. I mean, this is like tempting fate now, but touch wood. I've got about 30 of the HM7000 decoders. I've not had a single one let go. One thing I will say is that I do have good short protection here on Weir Yard.
Yes.
So occasionally you'll see everything just shuts down, and that's the short protection kicking in. Usually it happens because a locomotive has travelled across an Insulfrog point and had a brief contact where there's a brief short detected, and the DCC Concepts Aegis that runs here is able to just boom, it flicks out. I've also got bus bike suppressors all over the layout. They help as well. It's another great product from DCC Concepts. Now, Jeff Hammond, Flint Hills Railway Model Railway says Trainomatic are great decoders. Yes, they are, and have Railcom and short circuit protection. A great price.
Yes,
absolutely. Trainomatic.
There's a reason that you've partnered with them for a very long time.
Yeah, I'm sponsored by Trainomatic, but there are certain brands I would. It doesn't matter what they'd offer. I'd say I'm very sorry. I cannot, in good conscience, promote that brand. But Trainomatic, great brand at a really good price, good solid decoders. So really quite pleased with them. DJ K666 says I bought a Trainomatic 21-pin decoder as a backup at the ESU I put in Caroline. Did nothing except get really hot. Must be in one of the dodgy batch. One of the things you have to watch out for though is sometimes if you have an excessive current draw on some of the auxiliary outputs, that can cause issues. I've had decoders from multiple brands go pop in what turned out to be a faulty Hellion class 35, and the fault was traced to one of the lighting circuits having bleed through from the track. So it was effectively backfeeding
there are so many
track power into one of the auxiliary inputs, and the decoder would work for a while but get very hot and eventually go pop. So you could have some kind of an issue. Ivo Van Zon says Tramfabriek is mostly known for creating all the museum trams for Dutch HO-SCA. Tramfabriek is a UK distributor for Trainomatic, but they're not actually Trainomatic themselves. Trainomatic is a Romanian company, and I believe all their decoders are made in their own factory in Romania.
Cool. It's nice when people have their own factory because you know that they're just going to be able to replace stuff. This is what Jen and I have been talking about for a while. The lead time you have to have for your projects now. Like once you see someone announce something, if you're too far in, you can't back out.
Yeah,
if you're working on stuff, then someone else announces it, like you're stuck.
Yeah, and this is a bit like, this goes back to things like the Lomac, where Rapido Trains brought out theirs, and then Ellis Clark Trains brought out theirs. And the honest truth is, you reach a point of no return.
Yeah.
And that's where you've sunk so much money into a project that you cannot afford to just write all that off. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of pounds that you have paid to go to tooling, and usually it's at the point where you go to tooling, and that's the point of no return. And just because somebody beat you by a week, you do not just bin like hundreds of thousands of pounds.
No one can do that.
So sometimes that's why you'll see duplication. Richard Knowles says same with the Curascale and Cavalex with the Class 60. Yeah,
at some point you have to say, well, we're just going to have to try.
Knockers Lane, yes, I'd agree with that. Economy British Steam Sounds decoder is a decent one for the cost. We've actually reviewed that here on the channel, made by Soundtracks over in the US. And again, another manufacturer that has their own factory, and they actually make their decoders in their factory in the US. And there's actually somewhere online on YouTube, there's a really interesting video where they show the machine making the decoders.
Yeah.
Decoders are not made individually. They make a big sheet of decoders, and then they they'll make huge numbers of them. There's, there could well be 50, 100, 200, all on a big sheet. So they're all there, all stuck together, and they actually get tested all in one sheet. They have
that must be loud with the sound decoder.
No. What they have a thing where it basically presses pins onto the various places.
Let me have my imagination.
The computer can test everything. Same with uploading. If you put in the same sound file, or there's also the software goes on to any decoder. It doesn't just get made and work out of the machine. You have to upload software, and the software is another hidden expense in the making of decoders. And only when they've done all that do they break them up into the individual decoders. It's really quite an interesting interesting process. Worthington Model Railway says, I wish Soundtracks would do a UK economy Next 18. I don't think Next 18 is particularly a format that gets used in the US, and that may be one of the reasons. Farmer Chen one says, hey ho, Richard Brighton. Richard Brighton, where are you? Oh, you've gone off the top somewhere. Little Britain says, my NYC Mohawk has an economy. Huge sound. Yeah, the NYC Mohawk, no, it's a Niagara that's here. I think that's probably got something like an economy in as well. Ivo Van Zon says, does Hornby allow uploading new firmware over Bluetooth? You can upgrade the firmware version. So yes, it all happens over Bluetooth. And occasionally you'll get a notification with HM7000 that a newer firmware is available, and it will update it. Knockers Lane says, I have a few Blunami decoders in my locos. They are the bee's knees. Little Britain says, US is a lot like most of custom motherboards with DCC instead of NMRA sockets. Yes. I think the Broadway Limited ones do that, and it's most annoying because effectively it means if you have a problem, there's no easy way of testing stuff, and it's basically a proprietary motherboard that is all integrated and does the DCC and such like. Kitty Wolf says, I use Tramfabrique 6-pin decoders and Next 18 decoders for N-Gage with no issues, very good value. Likewise, I use a lot of them as well. Irish Train Guy, hello to you. There's a degree of lateness implied there. So, Gandalf.
Get off. Stop it. A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thank you, Gandalf. Jeff Hammond Flint Hill to Mother Railway says, agree, Broadway are a nightmare. Good news, ESU are bringing out a replacement Broadway PCB. That is excellent. Going to the dogs, though, not a fan of the economy decoders. They say that they are some kind of excrement. Kev McKay 85 says, hi, Jenny. Sorry I'm late.
Get off, get off, get off, get off. I saw you coming, I saw you coming.
I'm getting a weird buzzing noise when I...
Well, stop hitting me then, and I won't buzz. Brr. Brr.
How very strange.
Are you finished? Ow. A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. Good God, we're on 8 o'clock already. Richard Brighton says, stop clowning around. Does that mean we've got the tumble of clowns in?
One of them's got a bust.
Yeah, well,
Hey!
Sarah Davis says, I said to the baker, how come all your cakes are £2 except that one is £3? He said, that's Madeira cake. Madeira cake.
That is terrible and you should be proud.
Yeah, Iron Horse Railway says, those box fans look great, Jen. Yes, they do.
Yes, they really do.
Okay, everybody. Iron Horse Railways weathered those two box fans.
He did a very good job as well.
He did, yes. Go to the top of the class and jump off. Hey. Knockers Lane says, not sure what decoder is in my Broadway hybrid Blue Goose, but it's a great bit of kit.
You stuck a decoder in a goose.
Iron Horse Railway says, ha 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 ha, I did. No. So, anyway, gosh, it's past 8 o'clock now. We haven't really mentioned the theme is bigger, better. It was really just an excuse to have the Auntie Jenny wants you to pull her finger thing. But it's really off the back of these that were sent by Roker Prototype Models. These are a really nice livery on their Safe Pack Auto Racks.
I've got to say, bigger can be better. I've had a few people mention on the chat and on the channel and on the Facebook group as well, that as they're getting on a bit, not just eyesight's going, but like fingers don't grip as well, arthritis and all that.
Yeah.
So bigger makes it easier to not just see, but also manipulate for your railways.
Yeah. Also, I think this is the thing that really gets me is that this is HO. And it's huge. It's actually too big to go round Weir Yard because it hits things.
Because you put your gantries in and it smacks them.
But they're within the UK loading gauge.
Yes, but they're not within the American loading gauge.
And the thing is, if this was in 00, it would be even bigger still. I mean, it's just, you start to get an understanding and an appreciation of just how huge US stuff is. I mean, this thing is just dwarfs the bogies that it's sat on. They look like toys underneath there.
It's weird to see because they look like N gauge ones, even though they're not.
Yeah, those bogies are actually a full-size bogies, and yet they look like they're completely dwarfed.
Yeah, the sheer size of the American stuff is one of the reasons why I like it, because it's the size, the power, and all that. I can't go outside and see an American locomotive go past, but I could go and see a British one.
Yeah.
So I like to see it, but also I love the sheer massiveness of it.
Iron Horse Railways as well says evening. Does
that mean he's late?
No, because he was in here before.
An iron horse is never late, Toto Baggins. Nor are they early. They arrive precisely when their motorbike arrives.
Thanks, Gandalf. Flymo71 says, I've seen them on many videos and they have up to 3 decks depending on the cargo. Yeah, these have 3 decks. These are as big as they get.
It's ridiculously huge.
Nick Taylor's me Says, started watching your lives around a month ago. Really enjoyed your content. Do you have a Hornby APT? If so, what's your views on it? I did a full review actually of the Hornby APT.
You did, yes.
I thought it was a pretty good model. I don't still have it, but I thought, you know, if you were after an APT, the Hornby one did seem pretty reasonable. Now, for some reason, and this is a bit of a bugbear with manufacturers, gauging quantities. They made far too many of the extension packs for extra coaches, but not enough for the base APT. So there's a situation now where you can pick up the extra coaches for peanuts because nobody's got an actual APT for sale. So you're in a situation where if you've already got an APT, you can make it as long as you like, really quite cheaply.
But hey,
but we've seen this before as well on coaches. Now, it's not just Hornby that does this, although Hornby have done it quite spectacularly, where all you can buy are the brake thirds. All of the first class, the dining cars, and the second class coaches are, you know, they were all sold out because it seems that they make the same number of each diagram of coach. But of course, a lot of people want multiple second class coaches, but only one brake end. So you end up a situation, and Bachmann have done this in the past as well. So for example, regional railway Mark 1s from Bachmann, I still have not tracked down, I don't know whether it was a second open or a second corridor, or maybe even one of each. Never found the regional railways ones, but for a long time, the Mark 1 BG in regional railways, the BSK, which is the brake second corridor as well, and for a little while the FK, they stuck around, but then they sold out before the BSK and the BG. They were in the catalogue, and it was just these couple of random regional railway coaches, and it just showed that Bachmann had really got the quantities wrong on that front. Little Britain says Mark 1 Tourist Opens, the TSO, are hard to find also. Yeah, the regional railway ones, I've never seen them, and I've been looking out for them since pretty much when they were new. They just disappeared. In terms of regional railway coaches, I've got the BG, I've got the BSK, and I've got the FK. But I never had any others, and it really annoys me because I love regional railways and I want more, but they've just never been made available. The intercity ones suffered a little bit the same, whereby Bachmann did a little bit of a bigger range, but for a long time you could find the BGs hung around for ages, the BSK and the FK. But the restaurant cars as well for a little while, and then they disappeared. But the SO and the SK, which is the second open and second corridor ones, it took me about 20 years to track down the last of those. Iron Horse Railway says, Jed, what's the steam loco on the front of the tanks train? The US steam locomotive, that's a 484 Niagara. And that is, I think that's a Broadway Limited locomotive. It is full sound fitted, and it's a beast of a locomotive. It's got a huge tender as well. It's the only US outline. Too. Yeah, if I turn the sound on, it's very noisy as well. In a good way, but it's just very loud. It's my only US outline steam locomotive. Very, very generously sent it by one of the viewers of the channel. And eternally grateful for that. It doesn't get run very often, but I thought that because I'm doing a review on the Roca prototype models, a new batch of the tank cars, it was a great opportunity to get it out.
Well, hey.
Can Zoe still manage a clown horn? Asks Martin Vegas. It's deeply unnatural when you see her do it.
Sorry.
She's got a little bit of a dry throat at the moment. Can we change the angle of the dangle? We've been on that angle for a while.
For like 10 minutes or so, yeah.
Iron Horse Railways, of course, it runs really well. One of the things you'll find with the US Outline stuff is actually they're all superb runners. They're so smooth. So I never. I mean, I'm saying I never have had a problem, but probably start just crashing and burning now. But they really are superb runners. So that's all my Roker prototype models, tank cars, and there's also a few other bits and pieces there. Again, I've been very, very lucky. People have very generously just sent in US Outline stuff. I do love US Outline, but I just don't have a layout at the moment. Martin Vega says, Zoe, I sent you Dark Souls 3 for the clown horn.
Oh my goodness!
Oh wow! Thank you so much.
You've got to stop, man. Thank you, but I do appreciate it. Thank you, but you've got to stop, man.
Ivo Van Zon says European rolling stock also gives the opportunity to do some of the more exotic stuff. There's some lovely models. I have to say, the US Outline stuff I absolutely love. And one of the things I really want to do is do a small logging line. I was originally hoping for the KR model Shay, but at the moment, no sign of that appearing. But I believe it's Trix have announced, I think it's either a 3-truck or a 4-truck Shay. And it's a very impressive model. It's not cheap. But
to be honest with you, you get what you pay for.
You do, yeah. I think a lot of people, they assume that it's very expensive in the UK. But some of the models for overseas are incredible models, but ain't cheap either.
Yeah, you pay for it.
And yes, Iron Horse Railways, perhaps we do need to make a 2-part US themed layout we can take to exhibitions together.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Richard Brighton says you wouldn't even need to move the decoder. Most US models come sound or DCC fitted as standard.
Which is nice.
It's massively misunderstood that most DCC locos are very happy running on DC. Sorry, that halfway in through a conversation. Richard Knowles asks, Jenny, do you have any EMD locos? Not sure. I've got Alco PA set, and I've also got I've got several diesel locos, but I couldn't tell you what they are off the top of my head.
She's not she's not a powerhouse of remembering. Let's put it that way.
J. Paul Anderson asks, "Do you have new glasses, Jen?" Oh yes, thank you for noticing.
She does.
I do. Yes,
She can see now.
Yeah, things have edges. First set of new glasses in nearly 17, 18 years. God, they're expensive.
Yes.
But I'm an old fogey, and the batteries are running down in my eyes, so I need glasses now. Laura Peters says shades are amazing. They are actually. They are.
I have to admit, I do
Kit
like
bashing
them.
one at the moment.
Ooh.
Little Britain says, I find that most DCC locos don't run as smoothly on DC. No, I would go with that. Wow, Martin Vega says, arriving Thursday, Dark Souls 3, The Fire Fades, Xbox One. Dark Souls 3, The Fire Fades, also Xbox One. Thank you so much. That is incredibly generous of you.
You really, really shouldn't, man.
Oh.
I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. You brighten my day when stuff like that happens. But treat yourself, man. Yeah. Treat yourself.
Summer Breeze Model Railway John and Holly says, I'm hoping to use Woodland Scenics inclines on my layout. The height is 4 inches. What's the best height to do the additional supports? As the baseboard I would be using is likely to be 9mm thickness. I've used Woodland Scenics inclines and risers. Risers, incidentally, don't make the mistake that a lot of people have. Woodland Scenics call the ones which are level, so effectively you'd make an embankment or something like that, and they call them risers, but they're not an incline. The inclines are separate. So I'm not really quite sure what's the best height to do the additional supports. You can double up or even triple up Woodland Scenics risers. So if you're in doubt, you can always buy like the two lots of 2-inch and stick them on top of each other, as it were. But just if you're needing a 4-inch raise up off the baseboard, just buy the 4-inch ones. Oswestry Road TMD says, "Howdy, Jen and Zoe. What have I missed?"
A Monday clubber is never late to the
Gandalf
wagons,
misses nothing.
nor are they hurry. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf.
You're welcome.
So we've been talking a little bit about the news. So just to recap, probably the big news over the last couple of weeks, Hornby is delisting off the stock market, which a lot of people have speculated about this, but quite simply looking at it from the point of view of understanding the business world, I think it's a very, very solid move from Hornby insofar as it protects them from the risk of somebody doing a hostile takeover
And then
asset stripping it. Because I do think that Hornby shares are undervalued, and that's when you get a risk of a company being bought up through a hostile takeover and then asset stripped, because you get people who realise that, hold on, we could buy that company for, like, let's just say, for argument's sake, £1 million, but the assets within that business are worth £2 million. So we buy the business, we asset strip it, we come out of it having pocketed an extra cool million profit.
for nothing.
For nothing, other than basically leaving the business in a poor footing, and all the rest of us end up picking up the pieces.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I mean,
it's happened a lot with businesses.
I didn't even know that they were down to 14 pence a share at one point.
What, you'd have bought some?
I'd have bought some shares.
Yeah. Shake your hand, Shed Model Railway. It's great to see you. It's you're thinking about colours, a pigment. Thinking about colours a pigment of your imagination? Nick Taylor's Me says, when I was a kid, Hornby was excellent. Backman came along and were popular, but I find Hornby quality lacking now compared to other companies.
It depends what you're looking at.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think with Hornby there's some exceptional models, and you know, Exhibit A, the Stania brake van that Backman's going head to head with at an increased price, and I really think they're on a hiding to nothing with that. The Hornby model is really, really good. Now, another Hornby model, which I think is an exceptional model, the Shark.
That's nice.
The Shark brake fan. You know, let's not mince our words. This is one of Hornby's best models. There's some incredibly good stuff, but then there's also some stuff which is getting a bit long in the tooth.
But I'll tell you one thing, and this is the most important thing. Who else brings out in the UK a starter set for kids that you don't have to worry is going to be too
and that's what Hornby are, the ones that are catering for the newcomers, and that's very important. Now, it's gone off the top, but DJK666 said the other thing about asset stripped companies is they tend to get loaded up with debt. Yes, a company I used to work for had this, where they ended up they did, I think it was described to me as they phoenixed the company. They dumped all the debt into the company, loads of loans and stuff, transferred the assets around, and then just cut it loose. See you later. And it went pop.
Yeah.
And took the debt with it. But then the thing was, though, bankers and such like, and the people who were supplying the company with services and goods and stuff aren't stupid. They saw what they did, and when the new company went, oh yes, well we'll take X, Y, Z. Well, we haven't paid for the last lot. Oh no, that's nothing to do with us. It's like, what do we have dickhead written across our forehead?
But here's
no, we're not supplying you.
So that is a specific situation, but in a more general term, you can get loaded with that kind of problem, but you're the guys that got eaten up and spat back out. So you get everyone else's debt, and they take all of your stuff, so you have no way of getting out of a big pit that someone else.
Yeah, and I think down the line, what happens is that company folds and takes with it the debt, which is, which is
what the idea is of that sort of thing. But it's still not nice. when
No.
you're stuck there on the receiving end.
But what I'm saying is that the business world, people are not stupid.
No, they're
they
not.
can see you doing that.
Of course they can. 'Cause
They
they've
know
done it.
they know where the debt came from, and they know who are poor business partners as a result.
Yes.
So you end up where you can actually destroy a company's goodwill, even though they're the
Overnight.
Yeah. Mark Waitman says Hornby Steam is generally great. Locomotion number 1 is awesome.
I've had a lot of people say it's good. A few people have issues, but a lot of people say they really like it.
Right. I think the issues arise because if you're trying to DCC fit it, it can be very fiddly.
Yes.
And the issue is, I don't think there's any room for a stay alive, but on
It's
DCC
too
it
small.
really needs a stay alive. So if you're a DC modeler, Locomotion number 1, brilliant. If you're a DCC modeler, what you need is John JMC, the guru of sound, to help you out to fit in all the bits and pieces that you need.
It's so
Otherwise, you're
tiny.
going to have some issues with that.
And unfortunately, that is just because that's how
Oh,
small
wow.
this thing is.
Jennifer Horton says, a friend of mine has imported a South African Railways 2-foot gauge Class 91 GE loco.
Wow.
That'll be a monster when she finishes restoring it. I'm guessing 2-foot gauge. Is that going to be based at the Welsh Highland Railway by any chance?
Cool. Right. Here's the thing. We've got to 8:20. Are
Oh, my
we
word.
having some videos?
Yes.
Okay. First up, and we will continue chatting as well. Don't worry.
And that's an interesting
It's
one.
from Richard Swiderski.
Martin Vega says people would order a load of stuff from the catalogue before moving, and the house would be left with the debt. The thing about that is, though, that you can trace where the people went, and see a house can't be saddled with the debt. So when you buy a house, you buy it free and clear. If somebody has somehow messed about and tried to pull one like that, then actually it's like, it's not my debt. Get
Thank
it
you,
off
Richard.
my house.
Thank you.
And
Yes,
thank you
but-
so much, Richard Brighton. Very kindly donated £2 on the super chat. It says, speaking of, our micro stay alives are back. These are the ones if you're looking for the Gronk pack, which I like to point out. I inspired.
Here we go. Here we go. Beep beep.
They are now back in stock. So if you've got Bachmann 08 shunters,
Hey.
it's now super easy to get those
What
fitted
liv-
with stay alives.
What
so do
livery
check
was
out.
that? Because the locomotive almost looked like it was in black and white.
I don't know. I wasn't actually looking.
I
Oh
know.
gosh,
See what I mean?
that is very strange.
It looks like it's in black and white.
How is that? Because my brain is saying that front should be yellow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's but yet the rail on there is in green.
Yeah. Isn't
That
it
is
weird?
very
It messes
peculiar.
with your head.
Rail Adventure HST.
Thank you so much for sending that in.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
won't work. It won't work. Don't press it.
Okay. Two-tone grey, apparently.
That is so cool. I thought that was fantastic.
That was weird on the eye, the grey on the front, wasn't it?
I like it.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So yeah, the Rail Adventure livery. But just when it comes, you're thinking, your brain's saying that should be yellow.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no,
Why is this colour thing in black and white?
it's like, oh no, my graphics drivers have crashed.
But only on that specific bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's interesting there actually.
Oh my god,
Oh,
Iron
thank
Horse.
you so
Thank
much,
you.
Iron Horse Railways. Very kindly donated £2 on the Super Duper chat. Says yes,
Thank you.
they are back in stock. Order today. They're not going to hang around. Don't just say this. You can also pick them up from your DCC Concept stockists. These are the ones where the capacitors are actually on fly leads. I believe that Peachy TT120 was instrumental in the design of these. Because they're principally intended for TT120 locomotives, but they are perfect for fitting into space-starved 00 gauge models, including the Bachmann Class 08 shunter. It makes it a doddle to fit an AE direct plug 8-pin decoder plus the stay alive on little fly leads into that, and without any modification whatsoever, you can have stay alive fitted. Perfect. Awesome performance from your Bachmann Class 08.
Cool. So next up we have a message from James Latcham, who says, "Hi Zoe and Jenny, just a video of some running on the layout. Hope you enjoy it. Gronk it up."
Oh, gronk it up.
Gronk it up. Gronk it up.
Hashtag not a cult for legal and tax purposes.
Go find the button now. Here we go.
And apparently Iron Horse Railway says, Richard Brighton, I'm going to claim that back as expenses. Haha, you'll be lucky.
You can try.
Yeah.
The Gronk It Up cult is not a cult for
Oh,
legal and
look,
tax
I see a
purposes.
Gronk. I think, is that 08011 Havisham? And then on the right, Class 03 shunt. I do love a Class 03.
Is that an A4?
Oh, yeah, there
looking
is an
at you as
A4
well?
there. I don't know which one.
I'm betting it's the South Africa.
Union of South Africa?
Yep.
Could be, could be. Intercity. I do.
Intercity is the best.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Regional Railways is pretty good as well.
Regional Railways is good, but it's basically just a blue
Absolutely.
Intercity.
Also, don't forget to tickle that like button. Consider sharing the stream to social media. Let people know that the Monday Club is back, baby. Yes, bigger, badder, longer.
Smellier.
Yes. So
Thank you so much.
Come on.
Yeah. You get to see all the weird stuff you've been watching, like Will It Run? And a new version of Kit from Knight Rider.
Hey, yeah, no, good call.
And because of the nostalgia beat we were on earlier on, clips from Blue Peter.
Yeah, how did it know? Something's been listening to us, I think. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Simon Pitcher.
Thank you.
Very, very kindly donated £9.99 on the Super Chat and says, saved some money on Saturday with my Monday Club badge. Of course, don't forget that your Monday Club badge is still available. Do pick them up from the website. We've still got some left of the maroon ones, and they do get you some great discounts. I know a lot of people made out like bandits over the weekend at Ali Pally from places like TMC, the Model Centre, West Hill Wagon Works, Sawyer Models was another one as well. Lots and lots. I think AGR Model Railways may have been there as well. They're another one that's in the scheme. And, it's the discount that keeps on giving. We always say, support the retailers that support your hobby.
Before we go any further, I'd like to say we've got some more images here from Dion Wollaston, and I think you're going to be very impressed.
I have to say, Dion, you have done well with this this graveyard. I like that.
That is so well
with
done.
all the flowers and stuff. They look a little bit like, they may not be War World Scenic Tufts, but it's a similar sort of idea. But that works really, really well.
That is special, yeah.
I do like the gravestones as well. I don't know, are they...
They look like actual stone.
Yeah, are they the Harbin Hobbies range? Oh, I recognise the Austin Princess, the red one with the black vinyl roof. That isn't not that one.
Someone's getting married,
or having a funeral.
No, look at it. It's red and white.
Well, I don't know. It might have a jaunty funeral. That looks really good. Great use of Metcalfe buildings as well. Simon Train's Mother Railway showcases did get some express dairies milk tankers on Saturday at Ali Pally. 2 Daypole ones for £15 total. But it's
Dual layer here.
Absolutely.
I do like the castle.
Is Ellis Clark Trains? They're in the badge scheme, aren't they?
I genuinely could not tell you off the top of my head. It's been a while since I checked on anything, so
you'll have to check
these
the
are
website.
Really nice.
Can I just say, because of what's been going on with family, it hasn't been updated, I don't think, with Freising Hall models.
Freising Hall models are now in, but they're not on the website yet.
So just be aware that if you see Freising Hall models at shows, or indeed if you go and visit their shop, do remember to make use of your Monday Club badge. Andrew Bettis asks, what's the next colour going to be released? Ooh, you'll find out when it's released. No, not pink.
Pink with blue stripes and a spot.
Can I just say, by virtue of how the enamel badges are made, then it will be a single colour with the brass highlights.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm actually quite keen on the ochre colour. You know, the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway improved engine green, aka ochre. But
Oh, these are really nice.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. It could be purple. It could be orange. Who knows?
These are really well done. Oh, Dion, you've really impressed me with your
Absolutely.
layout, man. This
Yeah,
is really
yeah.
nice.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot of operational potential on this as well.
Yes.
So Dion was in earlier on. I don't know if Dion's still in, but
Whoa.
RG Models 86 is LBSCR. Ochre would be great. Patrick Ling there wants purple.
Purple
Or
would
even
be
brown,
nice.
says Dave Scott Railways.
We have considered brown for a while.
There's a lot, and we could do white. We could do black. There's a lot of different colours, but you'll only find out what the next colour is if you buy all of the badges that we currently have, so that we have to order.
You personally don't have to buy all of the badges.
But you can do. Also, don't forget that the Monday Club wagon's still available. We're down to 6 of the O-gauge ones. Yes, I know they are expensive, but there's only 6 left. And
This is
there's
really nice.
there's at least 11 of the double O-gauge ones left, but they're not going to last forever.
What locomotive is that?
I don't know. At that angle, I can't really tell. So it's quite a busy little scene there with the farmyard. And stuff. A showman's engine. Some nice trees as well.
There's a lot of really cool stuff on here.
Class, is that a class 108?
Look at all these old buses just.
Oh, that reminds me. There was talking of videos I watch on YouTube. There was a video of an explorer of an old derelict school where the yard at the back was full of run-down vintage buses and coaches.
Wow.
And they all looked like that because somebody had just dumped them there. It was really quite sad, really. Patrick Ling says, "Hey, hi Jenny, it's my birthday this week. Happy birthday to you. Squash tomatoes and stew. Bread and butter in the gutter. Happy birthday to you." Yes, and Auntie Jenny says, "Pull my finger. You know you want to. You know." Nomad Railway saw that video. Yeah, you know the one I mean. Interesting.
Oh,
David
the
Brown
King and
said-
Queen.
Yeah. Oh, who's Queen?
That's cool. Actually.
They're actually really well painted figures.
Very well painted.
I think there'd be more Rosses about if the King or Queen were there.
Ooh.
Nice crane. Is that the
That is a
Bachmann or
very
the
nice
Hellion crane? So, the yellow rail car is a class 121, says Richard Knowles. Speaking of custom
that's a good
wagons,
angle.
Iron Horse Railway says they're considering making one.
Yes,
You're going to hang
kebab
with the cool
specialists.
kids. Andrew Bettis
Everyone's
said-
doing them now.
Yeah,
it's not
we're
special anymore.
trendsetters.
It's not special
This is
anymore.
a big layer. Is this still Dion's layer?
Yeah, it's
That's
done
a-
2 layers.
Yeah, well, why not?
2 layers, no
good
waiting.
make good use of the space.
Very cool. I like
Absolutely.
this. It's nice.
Hmm.
Oh wow.
That looks to be either a
Something's
class.
happened.
That's either a 121 or a 122. Well, that's the Rosses with the royal thing.
Yes.
Yes. Indeedy doody doody.
Very cool.
Yeah. Rubster's Trains and Travel says that layout looks cool. Yeah, there's a lot
Doesn't it?
going on, isn't there?
There's so much going on.
It's got a lot of fun potential, definitely.
Yes.
Oh, the obligatory Eddie Stobart depot. Whoa! That is.
Who's been doing unique stunt bonuses?
Can I just say, great park job there on the roof with the 8-wheeler. Or is it? No, it's a 6-wheeler. Is that the ERF 6-wheeler? It's like, I don't know how you managed it, but well done.
Don't do it again.
Can I just say, Eddie Stobart. Stobart's doesn't really exist anymore.
No, it's
They've
been taken out by, what is it, Colina?
Colina have bought out Stobart's, or at least Stobart's chilled, they appear to have. And as far as I can tell, the rest of Stobart's has disappeared.
It's a shame. It really is.
Well, it's just
no,
nature of business.
I know, but
I
if you
still
think
miss
about
Christian
it,
Salvesen. Remember them?
yes.
Norbert. They got bought out by Norbert Dentresangle, who then got.
I don't know them.
I think they were a Dutch company.
I think you're just making
and then
up
they
words.
became XPO, and they're the ones you now see about. But like
Nice
James
jump, lad.
Earlham and Sons, you don't see them either.
No, but if you think about it, Eddie Stobart's been a thing on the roads for so long that
Yeah.
it not being there anymore, you notice.
Peter Jackson Cheadle Heath, William Stobart in the blue livery. Yes, gosh, that goes back.
There's so much going on here. Look at that. The signs all have proper detail on. That's a nice bit of mesh fencing as well.
Yeah.
For those of you who are wondering why Jen isn't even looking when she's saying yeah, it's because the monitor is showing her it. We've got the images there.
I think people
and
know
there.
how it works. Jennifer Horton says Beck and Pulitzer is an old one, I remember. Yeah, I mean,
That's a lot of
Oh
Jason.
my word! Thank you so much. Knockers Lane very, very kindly sent £1.99 on the super chat in memory of Pete Frost, also known as Harbottle, R.I.P. Very sorry to hear that somebody's
I'm sorry to
passed
hear
away.
that, man. Oh, it's never easy. To lose a
Warbler
friend.
Productions has poked his head above the parapet. Gandalf.
Get off, go. A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf.
Wow,
Yeah,
look at the-
Colina bought Stoke. Colina, somebody's got a deep checkbook because
They bought
Colina.
everything.
Back when I started working in
Who makes this
logistics,
castle?
I don't know.
It's different to the Metcalf one.
I don't know. I honestly
It's got
couldn't tell you.
bigger things around it.
Oh, the rock climbers! Look at that rock climbers, great.
That is cool.
When I first started it in logistics, Colina were just Colina, but they've gone on a shopping spree.
Which is
and
always a bit worrying from my
They've
point of
bought
view.
MMI, Fowler Welsh, Warren's Warehousing, Stobart's, Morgan McLernan. I'm sure there's another one as well. And Great Bear Distribution and somebody else. So they've been on a massive shopping spree.
Which sometimes is a bit of a worrying sign. Right? Why are they going all out all of a sudden?
I don't know. Great Bear Distribution, Leslie Gilpin Railways.
That's an interesting...
I'm sure there's another one. There's MMI Distribution,
Interesting stream
Morgan McLernan. I'm sure there's another one as well, but I couldn't think which one. You're really taken by that castle. I don't know what brand it is. I don't. I think Dion might have had to go, but. Right, yes, this is. I did see this. I have chatted with Martin Rees from War World Scenics, but RG Models 80s writes, War World Scenics were victims of another theft at Ali Pali. They had some locos from their display stolen, and actually the drawers the locos were in were stolen. There's some real scum out and about.
It feels like they're targeted these days.
Yeah, because
they know that they can move this stuff on.
Because War World Scenics had stuff stolen from them at the Doncaster show, and now this has happened again. CML Zantec, yeah, that's the one. CML. But it's one of the things I've actually I'm donating to as the cupboard monkey coughs and splutters.
I'm going to go and get some cough medicine. I'm going to make.
Could you
Thank
bring
you
the
so
bottle- Yeah, why don't you bring some glasses and the bottle of Coke up as well to wet our whistles? So
Thank you, Dion, for sending that in. That was great.
I think what we really need is if we can identify this gun. We had this with the
They need to be named and shamed and barred.
the
from
shop
coming
that
in.
shared the CCTV that proved a particular individual stole
Don't
from
do that.
what individual?
Yeah, that's just not right. Pass me your glass. Okay.
Yeah, you take these away. Stuff like that. We need to circulate the pictures and basically make them unwelcome and actually say, as an industry, what we should do is when people are positively identified as thieves, then what we need to do is have them banned from every model shop in the country, banned from every model exhibition in the country.
A bit like the pub watch.
Yeah, like the pub watch scheme. Banned from every model rail club and make them just like persona non grata. Raymond Legg says the seller that gets stuff stolen who had a lot of Marklin and Fleischmann was not at Saturday's train show, probably got fed up with it. Stevie Film says if the traders lose too much at every show, they won't bother anymore. Yeah. Mark Wilson, wax through the DeLorean, great to see you. Off to Statfold Barn this weekend, a day out with Thomas. I'm taking my 2.5-year-old grandson. It's not Diesel's, but it's his time. I think you'll find that your little kids probably more taken with the steam engines. I don't know what it is about a steam engine. It's got quite a personality. But yeah. Sarah Davis says Warworld Scenics could tell everyone what was stolen, make it hot to move on. And Iron Horse Railway says absolutely, Jenny. We do not want you in our hobby. Go away. DJK666 says I agree. Maybe it's worth revisiting the design of the stand to make it more difficult to steal things. One of the things I've done is I've offered Warworld Scenics. Do you remember the Great British Locomotive magazine? And they came with what look outwardly like a real model locomotive of various things, but they were actually looky-likeys. They weren't real locomotives. They were just like worthless display pieces. And I am donating, the ones of those that I have to Warworld Scenics to replace the real locomotives that they had in their drawers. The idea being that he can scratch property of Warworld Scenics, kick the scumbag who's trying to sell this to you, sort of thing, on the underside of these, and make them so they're worthless. Nobody would steal them because they're just worthless, and they can use those in their display. Stevie Film says would be more difficult, troublesome moving on stolen stock if the manufacturers added unique serial numbers, but that's all cost. And the problem is, who keeps the record of it? And I think, it's one of the things, and I think, the shop in, I think it was Sheringham, that had the Bachmann 08 stolen from them. In a way, the problem they had, they were buying stock in, and the huge mistake they made was that they didn't take any details of the person selling them their stock who turned out stole the 08. Because if they had done, they'd know exactly who the person was. And I think if you're buying stock in, you need to protect yourself as much as anything, because how do you know that that's not stock they stole from somewhere else?
Yeah, that's the reason I CEX asks for your details.
Yeah, the weird faraway noise you're hearing is the cupboard monkey saying it's why CEX, Computer Exchange, that also deals with all the retro games and stuff, CEX, sex. But they will take your details and ask for ID to back it up, so you can't just pick up. I'm
joke logs from 123 fake street.
Yeah, and the reason is because if the stuff turns out to be stolen, then they can basically they can tell the police where to go.
And they will, because we've seen it happen.
Yeah, they will. We have seen people lifted in CEX for trying to fence stolen stuff. Maura King says, might be an idea for traders to just leave boxes on display and keep the stuff under the tables if things are being stolen. The problem with that is that
it severely reduces the amount of stuff you can take to the shows.
For brand new stuff, maybe, but for second hand, part of the process is being able to look it over.
Yeah.
Stevie Film suggests security at the doors, checking bags against receipts like what Costco did. The only problem with that, though, is that not all traders give out receipts, especially if you pay by cash.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're now on the Diet Coke. Excuse me. David Baker suggests slip an Apple AirTag in a dummy model. If that becomes the model that gets stolen, then you're onto a winner. But it's how do you know which one's going to get targeted? And you could end up spending money on an AirTag that never ever goes anywhere. Liam at New Mills Model Railway says some lovely aeroplanes behind you there, Jenny. Are they kits? Yes, they are.
No, the one on the left isn't.
The flying wing you can just make out there. That is a kit. I can't. Is that was it a Polish company?
They're Hungarian, I think. PM model.
PM model. They are great, actually. Really love those. This is actually, we were donated this and another. These were from, was it there was a Bachmann set with a locomotive and some aeroplanes.
Yeah, and the other aeroplane is just there next to you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see.
If I turn it this way, there.
So that's the other one. But yeah, there are some kits behind the cupboard monkey. As we swing round,
I don't know if
it won't go that far
enough.
You're just liable to break it.
There.
So there is a number of different things. I like the Bristol Bulldog, but you can't show it because it's behind you.
If I go past...
Ooh, that's a chin and a half. Down. There we are. I love that Bristol Bulldog.
You got that to work.
Yeah. I painted and finished that.
Yeah,
DJK666 says microdots might be the answer. They go somewhere discreet and have a unique ID. Careful now. I said this would happen.
You did not say this would happen. You said it might happen.
No, yeah. Oh, dearie me. Right, so I'm over here, but for the moment we've got... Stevie Films a CCTV with a screen showing the stand on full view as a deterrent. I think as well you need... point that at me, would you?
I'm trying my best to put it back on the thing.
You're very trying. Yeah,
Is
Mad
that
Hatter,
so on the layout to scale? Yes.
Mad Hatter CCTV is the only deterrent. I think you need to have cameras on the stand, but it's got to be recorded somewhere. It's no good having it as a deterrent if it's not recording. It
has to record. Absolutely has to record.
It's neither use nor ornament. Big hello to J94. Great to see you. I hope you're well.
Get off my knee.
Yeah.
Oh, a Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. Retro, a few people getting motion sickness. We're stable now. Iron Horse Railway says, night, folks. Bedtime. Work tomorrow. What is this work of which you speak? Zantex says, what about zip ties strapping the model to the stand?
Again, you can't look at it now.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, but no, this is... Then you've got a huge amount of work for the stand. There's
this is the
vigilance and CCTV, I think, is the way ahead. And not having CCTV cameras that are on Wi-Fi, because we all know at these shows the Wi-Fi just gets
not just
swamped.
that, but Wi-Fi blockers are really, really easy to buy.
Yeah, just get wired cameras wired back to a computer or a base unit, and I think that that's really the only reliable way of doing it. And that shop in Sheringham had the CCTV. They caught a very clear picture of the scumbag's face.
Yeah.
And I'm sure somebody knows who that is.
Take care, Iron Horse. Thanks for coming along, dude.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think somebody knows who that scumbag is.
Yeah.
And I think that scumbag knows that their picture is being circulated. And I'd like to think
that
that
they're not going to show up again.
They're not going to show their face anywhere now because
I hate this advert that's just showing up.
Yeah.
She's...
It's so vacuous.
It is. It's vapid and it's awful.
Knocker,
Sorry, you guys can't see the advert.
Yeah. Knockers Lane says, if it's a large show, insurance company will only insure on condition you have security personnel on site.
Well, that's the thing. They do, but you can only have so many.
I think the thing is, it's uninsurable because unless you have incredibly good security, why would an insurance company insure you if basically you're just going to be like, oh, we had this nicked and this nicked and this nicked, and it's like, well,
sure.
I'm sorry, you don't get free money from your insurance company.
Okay, we're going to remove that one, and we're not going to even bother with any more of that.
Sarah Davis is just wondering if anyone tried stealing stuff from a security shop. Probably.
Of course they have. They probably see it as a challenge.
Worthington Model Railway says you can get cameras with a local SD card. Now, that is also a good option. Andrew Bettis, behave yourself. It's like, we can't condone what you said, but we understand.
Yeah.
Alex Carter's was watching some of your old videos the other day, Jenny, of a collection tour. Any chance of an update?
Oh my goodness. How long would the tour be now?
450 locos or more. Well, actually, look out for Friday's video because I show you all of my Class 08s, 09s, 10s, 11s and Class 13s. So you can check out what is actually a very large collection just of those locos. I think the only way that I'm going to actually have a collection tour video is in parts. So think of it as part 1, all the Gronks,
Yeah.
is coming on Friday. PN Motorsport trains, not entirely A4s and 08s. That only accounts for like
A third,
maybe
2/3.
about 15% of the
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
So next up we have a message. You can keep going as well, Jen. Next up we have a message from Warbler Productions. It says, early on Saturday, 1st of March, I was at Atherstone Station to video the East Anglian Rail Tour, which was running from Crewe to Norwich, behind Class 40, number D213, and running on the fast lane. Here's the video of the train passing through the station on the cold, frosty morning.
Jennifer Horton, yes, there was a Class 12. I don't have a model of it. It has BFB wheels. Looks like an 08, very similar, but it has the BFB wheels. Now, that is one that's being done by Hellion for Model Rail, but isn't out yet. I believe there weren't a huge number of them, but there's only one surviving Class 12.
It's weird when you see all these flatbeds, and then you only see 1 or 2 ISO containers on them. It's like, did you leave before you got finished?
No. With some of these, what you find is it's kind of a positioning move. So what they have is they have a fixed rake of the containers that will do a circuit route, and they get loaded up with whatever containers are available. So on that day, there may not have been many containers for moving.
Beep beep.
Ooh,
Look at that bend! My goodness.
is that with Mark 3s? They look like Mark 3s.
And they've got a nice,
Intercity.
nice head plate there.
Yeah.
The Monday Club.
See, look at that. The best livery for coaches.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes. And 47 on the back. So 40 on the front, 47 on the back. I think it was a 40. Did they say it was a 40? Yeah, Mark 3s.
Beep beep.
And there's another container.
Looks so real. The lighting is amazing.
It's interesting, actually. There's quite a mix of different wagons there. Because you see how the containers, some sit low, some sit high.
Yeah.
So there's quite a variety there going on. There's long wagons, and there's also, are they KFAs, the ones where it's a single container on a 4-wheel wagon? That's actually a fully loaded. I didn't see any empty spaces on
that was
that train.
pretty good.
Whereas this coming the other way, you're looking at mostly empty.
Yeah. Summer Breeze Model Railways asks, can I post the link again for the video that had the church scene? I can't. It wasn't a video. It was a set of photos. Sorry.
Really sorry about that. The only thing I can suggest is at the end of the video, roll it back and you can have another look.
That really does look like it's the Monday Club headboard.
Rubster's Trains and Travel says, I so want to put my Monday Club badge on the front of a loco.
Thank you
can
so
do.
much for sending
They're
that
perfect for O gauge, a little bit on the big side for 00.
Yep.
But anybody who wants to pick up the Monday Club badge, of course, they make great headboards for certainly for O gauge and G scale models. But we do still have some of the maroon ones left. You can find them at the link. I think there's a link in the description box down below. People keep asking what the next colour is going to be. Well, we will announce it when we've ordered them. But the only way you can get us to order them is by buying up the stocks of, the current ones. Also, Monday Club wagons, make sure that you pick yours up as well. Got them in 00, got them in O gauge, and the O gauge ones are becoming quite scarce beasts. There's only 6 left. I know they are expensive, but we make no money whatsoever on them.
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
So we did it for the community rather than anything else.
We did it so that people could have the model.
Yeah,
And that was that was as simple as it got.
Oh dear, Sarah Davis says, I put my Monday Club badge on the strap of my handbag and lost it a few weeks ago. Oh. No, you got to put it somewhere safe.
I've done the similar thing with a load of stuff over the years.
A few people, I must admit, there was one found at the Worley show on the floor.
Still don't know whose it was.
No.
So next up we have from Knockers Lane, a quick video which looks rather cool with a lot of what appears to be
I see Buckle
people
Skelly milk
filming.
chocolate. When did Buggle Skelly.
I know,
his
he
own-
got his own branded chocolate. The guy's going places, man.
He certainly is. Oh, look at that. It's Batman.
It's Batman the Riddler. Oh, that is cool.
Whoa! How?
Oh, man, you've got to have it right.
How is it doing that? Is that like a fibre optic? Oh, look! Yes!
There you go. And Knockers Lane as well.
Oh, and it's
nice.
the older blue badge. How are you doing that? Is that can't possibly be real water?
Of course it can.
Batman and the Piddler.
Piddler. I like it. Of course it can be real. If you have a very thin,
No, but how
very thin plastic tube and a small pump that only pumps at a certain power, you could get that to work.
Warbler Productions says
That
all
was
3 of my
hilarious.
badges are on the front of my Trilby hat. I get a lot of people asking about them, so I tell them about the streams. Tell them where
Thank
they can buy
you.
the badges. Now, I think with
Jen
somewhere...
really wants to get rid of all these
I
badges.
do. I want the next colour. I really want the next
Hey,
colour.
what you
Now,
like?
talking to Monday Club Wagons as well, get them bought. We need them shifted so we can order the next Monday Club Wagon. Currently in discussions with this, so I'm not revealing it until it'd probably be May. But we need to sell out the wagons. I'm sorry, people. There's a lot of you, and there was less wagons ordered than there are of you guys. So get your Monday Club wagons ordered. So
Is that a TARDIS by the flag at the back scene? It is!
It is. Has somebody spotted it?
Yep.
Yes. So there are 2 TARDISes.
I don't know where the other one is.
I
but-
do.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So.
Well, congratulations on pointing out the one that they hadn't spotted.
Oh yes.
Hey.
Oh yeah. So actually, it is on screen because it's behind me. Well done. I spotted it. I win. I spotted the other
my
TARDIS.
goodness,
So
you're a burger, you are.
Ooh,
My goodness. Speaking of burgers, I'm
ooh.
ordering McDonald's when I go off screen.
How do you have any? We had a Sunday roast. How have you got space for a
I really,
McDonald's?
really want to.
Oh no.
So next up, we have our final one for tonight.
Yeah,
Sorry about
yeah.
this, but it has gone over quick.
I-
We have a message
I
from
do
Gary
love the Piddler.
Lawson at Rollstone, the YouTube channel Rollstone.
Uh-huh,
Says, good evening, Jenny, Zoe, Gandalf, Toasters, Tumble of Clowns, including the Straggler, and the Monday Clubbers.
Where's the
Hope you're all-
straggler?
That was the Straggler.
Oh right, he
was
really
very far back.
very straggly.
Did not notice who the Piddler was and who was on the camera. I didn't see who was on the camera. I was looking at the Piddler
Are
and how
these
you managed to make it work.
YouTubers?
Oh, that
Were they YouTubers?
We're gonna have another look.
Oh right, okay.
So we've got a message here saying, hope you're all well, enjoying the badges and Monday Club wagons so far, can't wait for the next ones. If you have time, please feel free to show the attached video, which is of the newer tooled Hornby 9F.
Ooh. And a big hello to Laura. It's great to see you. Come on, Gandalf.
Don't knock my biscuits. Don't knock the biscuits. A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf.
I always
Good
love this
night
intro.
to you, Richard Bright.
Take care,
School
thank
night,
you.
and I need to discipline Iron Horse models for unauthorised spending tomorrow. Can I just say, I never got any expenses back, and I spent a fortune on sandwiches and
I don't
and
think Iron
travel.
Horse is getting expenses back either.
No,
Yeah,
it's
Simon
getting-
Trench, you're absolutely
Si-
right. I
Iron-
love that intro as
Can
well.
I just say, Iron Horse is getting a clip round the ear. I
Oh,
think.
that looks
It is a great
really
model.
nice.
I've got one of the Hornby 9Fs. They are a lovely model.
That is it's got a bit of size and a bit of power behind it. Look at that, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Oh,
I
I
really
do
do
like
like
the
this.
embankment there. When that's
Yeah.
all finished and ballasted, that's going to look really nice. And it got a lovely background there as well. I'm guessing that's on the slope of the roof, but with the clouds.
Oh, that's interesting.
I need to do something like clouds in here.
While we're on with it, I can move this there. Now it's properly on screen. Why wasn't it on screen before?
I don't know.
Interesting. We
That's
must have had it moved somehow.
I don't know. So there's a lot going on with this layout.
It really does look
Cook
lovely. doesn't it?
sidings. Ooh.
Yeah. I do like this. I really.
I do like that retaining wall. Is that from the Knock range?
Is that an extra window that he's putting on one side of that signal box as well?
Whoa! No! Whoa! No!
I'm trying to find it. We don't do.
We do not allow
unauthorized advertisements.
unauthorized advertisements.
My goodness. Trying
Right.
to slip an extra advert in there, YouTube, which they've started doing. If you on anything, if you aren't checking it, check your stuff thoroughly, because they're starting to put extra ones in that you haven't put in yourself, and it really is annoying.
You're not getting any. Oh, I love the winding gear wheel.
Yeah,
wasn't there one of those?
There's one of Coxer. Yeah. That is nice.
Indeedy doody.
Very nicely
I like
done.
the bridges. Well, can I just say, I'm a big fan of bridges.
Simon Train says they were horsing around with adverts on this video.
Going to the dogs. Gotta go, people. See you all next Monday. Stay safe. You take care as well. It's been great having your company.
It really has. Thank you for coming along.
See you next time.
This is lovely.
There's a
Such
lot
a
going
lovely
on.
looking layout as well.
Yeah.
Ralston, you've got a great setup here. This looks fantastic.
I like the addition of the clouds and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do mine in a very different way, but I like the effectiveness of it.
Yeah.
That is a hell of a logo. It
Oh
looks...
my word! It's 9 o'clock already.
Yeah.
Raymond Legg says that trombone was well oiled. No rusty trombones here.
RGMod36 says, I'm not monetized yet. I've started seeing ads on videos. That's usually an indicator that you're close enough to being monetized that it might happen soon. Because
but who's getting the money for them?
Oh, Google is. I remember seeing that about 6 to 8 weeks before I got to the point where I could be a YouTube partner. I started seeing adverts on my channel.
Huh. 57305 Northern Princess, great to see you. I don't have a problem with ads now, as I pay for YouTube Premium. I pay for it now because I watch a lot of live tornado storm chases. Ooh.
If you're gonna pay for any streaming system, YouTube, I think, is one that I would do, because
look
we
at
use
those
it so
coaches.
much. They are lovely.
I think they're the Hatton's Genesis one.
Yeah, they've got to be.
But it's in that livery. It's either the Midland Railway or the LMS livery. I did say at the time that was the livery to have. That was my personal great pick.
Yeah.
And 57305 Northern Prince.
Have you broken it already?
Gandalf. 57305 Northern Princess is late.
The Monday Clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. Aww.
Did you break your little
I don't know,
pointy
it's like
point?
a little piece of metal.
Aww.
Aww.
Right, that was brilliant. Thank you so much for sending that in, Ralston. I'm really, really impressed with your layout. It's so well done.
Absolutely.
Seriously, it's well done, man. Congratulations on the effort that you must have put in for that.
Broken my finger.
Right, that's all we've got time for tonight, though, isn't it, Jen?
Pull my finger. Yeah. Oh, Jim.
You broke a finger and the stream at the same time, yes.
Absolutely.
You're a
So,
burger, you are, making all these problems.
right. So, anyway, don't forget to get yourself a Monday Club pin badge. If you've already got one, get another one. Same for the Monday Club wagons.
Hey.
Let's get them sold, and then we can get on with ordering the next ones. I think a lot of people aren't so keen on the Daypole wagons. They just feel
They
like
look nice to me, I have to say.
yeah, they just feel like they're sticking around far
Longer
longer than
than
the
the
others.
other ones did, yes.
So it's another different manufacturer. We like to spread the love around, and so we are going with another different manufacturer, hopefully. So still in the negotiations stage. I really want those bars of chocolate, like
I will
Bubbles.
look into that.
Yeah, well, I don't know where you'd get. Ask him. We have his email address. We should ask him. I'm really annoyed now. I've got to try and figure out where on earth there's like a little piece of metal that's flung out and gone. Whee! I'm free.
Freedom!
Freedom.
While Jenny looks for that, we'll have a quick message from our wonderful sponsors, TMC, the Model Centre, and then we'll be right back.
Found it! The Monday Club is proudly sponsored by TMC, the Model Centre. Check them out at themodelcentre.com. The website features extensive stocks of new models as well as selective pre-owned items where you can track down that bargain you've always wanted. Pre-order with confidence all of the forthcoming models from all the manufacturers. TMC also offer a renumbering and renaming service so you can get the exact identity of locomotive that you want. Why not also check out their value weathering, or go for something incredibly special with their bespoke service where you can choose from a more extensive weathered look right through to custom graffiti either off the peg or to a design of your choice. Check out TMC today at themodelcentre.com and start your model journey.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
Bertie.
to Andrew Bettis, very, very kindly donating $1.99 on the Super
Thank
Chat. Says
you.
happy birthday, of course. Yes, for those that missed it, it was my birthday on the last Saturday, just gone on the 15th. So I'm now older.
Older, not wiser.
Yeah, something like that. So there we go. Harp House Halter, so you get a Buggle Scaly Choc with each order.
Very nice.
Yeah. I got.
He's doing really well for himself. I'm
He is
very
actually.
pleased for
Yes,
him.
yes. So there we go. As the teapot of inevitability swills out the final fluids of late nightedness.
What?
We come to the end of the stream, so it's been great having your company. And until next week, when we will be back with the Monday Club, you guys take great care of yourself. We've kind of had a little bit of an American thing going on. We haven't really shown much.
But we have to settle this question. The
Uh,
question that was
is
posed at the start.
bigger
Is
better?
bigger better?
No.
Is
Or
it what,
yes.
is it what you do with it that counts?
Oh, stop it! Stop it with the innuendos. Who are you trying to be? Richard Brighton all of a sudden?
To be fair, I do like the American stuff. I
love
like it more than the British stuff because
I
I,
think-
can see the British stuff anywhere,
Yeah,
anytime I want.
no. I think with the American, it's the novelty.
It's
Because
different.
we're not used to it.
Yes.
And
I like
I'm
the
looking-
size and the power.
Yeah. I think because it's different, and that goes for the locations as well.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of aspects of US railroading which have things that are lost from the UK, like little pickup goods where you'll have a GP40 trundling along with a single boxcar trundling, and it's like you just don't see that in the UK anymore.
No,
Um,
we lost it all because they had
on-
to start. Wasn't it that they had to start actually stating what their costs and prices were, and then everyone just undercut them?
No, it wasn't so much that. It was just that I think because America's got much bigger distances, it makes more financial sense to shift stuff by rail. Whereas in the UK, it's shorter distances. The UK is kind of the size of a small US state, somewhere like Maine or Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Whereas, if you're shipping from Massachusetts to California, you wouldn't send a truck.
Well, you would if you're an idiot.
But no, a truck would probably take 3 or 4 days to get across.
And be very expensive from the fuel.
Yeah. So, it makes more sense. Anywho, it's been great having your company. Don't forget as well, this Friday we've got a tour of all the Gronks. That's classes 08, 09, 10, 11 and 13. No, I don't have a class 12. I do want one.
You don't have a Grand
but they're not actually out yet. We've also got a new batch of Roker prototype models, tank cars, currently going through filming. You actually see them. They've been going round all night, but also another huge thanks to Roker prototype models, who very, very kindly sent these bespoke liveried versions. They've had these done specially with the Homer Simpson, but also you'll see... wrong end. Also, we've got the JK logo on there, and some...
Return to Weir Yard or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it actually... Well, it says Weir Yard on the back. It's really good, this. But we've also got when empty, return to Weiryard agent Jennifer Kirk. And then there's an even smaller one I'm really struggling to read. It says Weiryard Limited Railway Equipment Trust of 2024 Lloyd's First Trust Company of Bolton, Lancashire, England, owner and leasee.
Wow. It's
So-
gone all out for you, man.
It really has. It's an incredible bespoke livery.
Could
on
you have got your glasses any further down your nose?
I was turning into a school teacher. So really impressed by these. A huge thank you
They
to
are
Roker
amazing, they
Prototype
really are.
Models. And they do feature
you.
in the video that's coming not this Friday, but the Friday afterwards.
And of course,
So-
we've also got that. What was it? That repeater, was it? The ones that we were doing on the last stream.
You're saying that like I filmed it. I haven't filmed anything.
You haven't filmed it yet, but it is planned. Is what I'm saying.
Apparently, it's been planned for me to film even more videos for
Yes.
the Cupboard Monkey. So, good night, everybody. And you guys take care. Laura says, about 15 years ago, I visited the US and a short line railway had some GP38s and ropey track in staggered short lengths so the locos would wobble. There's some great videos on YouTube.
They really are.
Jawtooth is one. Do watch a lot of his stuff.
I have one question. Why is there an intense green light coming out of that caboose?
They're the end of train lights.
They're intense, aren't they?
Well, yeah, because they were probably intended for DC running.
Or
And-
from
and-
seeing a
and-
long distance.
Yeah, no. On the model, they're intended probably for running on DC,
Fair enough.
which would be at a maximum of 12 volts, but normally a little less. They're now running at 16.08 volts
Wow.
all the time. So they're basically running to the max.
To the max.
To the max.
And with that note, take care and good night, guys.
Happy modelling. Take care. Bye for now.
The train now departing is the 2111 service to Grove Street Yard, stopping at Minas Tatis, Tatis Newith, Butts Farting, Peckham on the Back, Boxton on Fire, Boxton Junction, Hobbleton on the Hill. Then we probably go to Minas Tatis and Tatis Newith again, Eindhoven, Pittsburgh somehow. All change at 3 cops for Lord Hereford's Knob. And then on to Grove Street Yard, which we forgot where we were going. It's a 2111 service to Grove Street Yard.
If you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. For every train there ever was has gathered there together because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Club. Good night. I really do love the sound of the American horns. I thought I could.
That's a bit too close to the turntable, isn't it?
You're a bit too close to the turntable.
Oh, the system's a bit too close, funnily enough.